The first pay-per-view after WrestleMania 38 is done and dusted. It's in the bag. It was a WrestleMania Backlash, but personally, I would call it WrestleMania Rematch because everything was exactly what we've seen at WrestleMania. And what wasn't on the show from WrestleMania was all the good stuff that we actually wanted to see. No Brock Lesnar, no Stone Cold Steve Austin, no Mr. McMahon. But we got a bunch of rematches from matches that we didn't even care about going into WrestleMania. So who cares about that? Welcome back, guys, to Folk Wrestling. I will be ranking every match from WrestleMania Backlash tonight. My brother's not here, but he did give the pay-per-view rating a 0. So how would he rate it? What would he know? How can you give anything a 0? Apart from maybe AEW. But nah, he gave last night's pay-per-view a 0. I mean, I thought it was pretty crap. I gave it a 3. Regardless, going to go through the matches here. I mean, there was, in my opinion, one good match. There was some okay matches. And there was 2 pretty poor matches. 6 matches in total. They done it totally different tonight. They done the first 3 Raw matches, and then they moved on to the last 3 SmackDown matches. So I don't know if this is something that they're going to plan on in the future, you know, trying to separate the show, kick off, we either get all the Raw matches out the way and then do SmackDown matches, or vice versa. And who knows, maybe if this clicks, if this is something that works, maybe WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 could be WrestleMania Night Raw and WrestleMania Night SmackDown. That's something that they could maybe do down the line. I don't know, but I thought it was very strange that they focused on getting all the Raw matches out of the way before moving on to the SmackDown matches. But anyway, we're going to move on to number 6 in this list, and we're going to be kicking it off with Baron Corbin, aka Happy Corbin, aka the Lone Wolf, aka I need a gimmick change because this is fucking boring. I liked it when he was broke, but now watching fucking this TV screen's breaking my eyes. It's hard to watch. Then we've got Madcap Moss, who's never cut a funny joke in his life, and I don't know if that's supposed to be part of the gimmick. Sometimes when the jokes are so bad, they're actually pretty entertaining, but most of the times they're just like fucking hit and miss, and I'm not a big fan of Madcap Moss. I'm not a big fan of what Corbin's doing at the moment, and I'm not a big fan of this feud that they're in. I was not looking forward to this match. I actually wondered how... I didn't understand how there could be only one title match on the show tonight. The Intercontinental Champion not defending, the United States Championship not being defended, the Raw Women's Championship not being defended. I was wondering how there was like a lack of title matches on the show, yet this match was on the show. I mean, this was crap. Went about 10 minutes, didn't need to go 10 minutes. Madcap Moss defeated Baron Corbin with a roll-up. I mean, there's not a lot to say about that. This is a SmackDown match. This should not have been on the pay-per-view. Never mind, you know, the second from last match, the penultimate match. So, yeah, for me, this was weak, and it was definitely the worst match of the night. Moving on to number 5, we're going to go with Bobby Lashley and Omos. I mean, this wasn't much better than Madcap Moss Corbin, but the only thing I would say about this is it had Bobby Lashley in it, and I like Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley feels like a star. Therefore, I cared about this match. I wanted Bobby Lashley to win. Unfortunately, though, he didn't win. He lost to Omos. He shouldn't be losing to Omos. I mean, Bobby Lashley is a main eventer. Omos is a big green guy that is nowhere near ready to be in the main event. And I think it just cancels out his win at WrestleMania. Now, you can argue he did have help. MVP helped Omos towards the end, and that's how Omos ended up beating Bobby Lashley with a double-handed chokeslam, a move that he stole from Khali, by the way. But I don't know. To me, this just takes away Bobby Lashley's win at Mania. I would not have had this rematch, and if they were going to do a rematch, I would have had Bobby Lashley beat Omos again, because Bobby Lashley was coming off, you know, obviously losing the belt, the world title without losing it. Then he comes back, beats Omos at Mania, you know, ends the undefeated streak, and then just to lose to him at the next pay-per-view, it seems a bit stupid in my opinion. The match wasn't great, you know, it was sloppy. Omos does not move good for a big guy. He does remind me of he reminds me of Khali, slightly more athletic, but I thought Khali was more intimidating and imposing, so therefore I kind of preferred Khali. So yeah, this match was number 5. It wasn't good, but I felt it had slightly more interest than, it held my interest more than the opening match. So that comes in at number 5. Moving on to number 4, Edge versus AJ. Big fan of both guys. The WrestleMania match was billed as a dream match. I had no interest going into the WrestleMania match, and I had pretty much no interest going into this. This feud it's been rubbish. I'm not going to lie and say it's been good just because there's 2 guys I like in it. It's not been a good feud. The matches haven't been great. I thought the matches were really boring. The WrestleMania one was overly long. This one, again, ending with outside interference. So we've got Edge beating AJ twice, and I get it. You know, Edge is the heel. He's winning with, you know, fucking underhanded tactics, but we've had 2 matches now and Edge has won both of them due to outside interference. So, and the matches, they're not great matches, to be fair. I mean, AJ Styles has had a lot better matches in WWE, Edge has had a lot better. So for some reason, I don't know, I'm just not really digging these two. But I'm assuming the way things are set up, they're probably going to have a third one. But for me, I don't want to see any more. And this match came in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, and this was probably the toughest match for me to rank. It's Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. Obviously, another WrestleMania rematch. I felt like this could have easily went in second place. It was tough for me to decide. However, I felt the match in second place was a bit more fresh. We hadn't seen it before, whereas this, we had just seen it recently at WrestleMania. But I mean, overall, this was a good match. But again, nothing really at stake here. If Cody Rhodes wins, you know what, he wins. And if Seth Rollins beats him, it's like, okay, you beat Cody Rhodes, but there's nothing at stake. You know, there's no title on the line. There's no title opportunity. There's no career on the line. It was just another match. And I mean, at WrestleMania, that was fine. You know, that was fine. That was okay. But you'd think having a rematch, normally they like up the stakes or something, or, you know, they push it to the next level. And I didn't feel like we got that tonight. I just felt like this was just another match. Like, essentially, like I said at the start of the video, WrestleMania rematch. That's what this felt like to me. Yeah. So, but overall, I mean, it was good. It was all right. It was decent. It was a decent match, but yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, it certainly, you know, it was a bit boring at times. And I like this whole pay-per-view, to be fair. I mean, I like Cody Rhodes. I think the guy will be champion, but you know, I'm hoping that's him and Seth Rollins done. I mean, the match was all right. Got a bit unrealistic towards the end. Kind of started working that AEW style where they were hitting like strikes and finishers, and pretty much nobody was no-selling. And like anytime I hear Cody Rhodes talking about that, Cody Rhodes knows how wrestling works, so it's kind of frustrating when you see him work that kind of style. But regardless, I mean, it was an okay match. It's coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we've got the main event. 6-man tag match. It was the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jay and Jimmy Uso taking on RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle, and of course their tag team partner, the Scottish Terminator, Drew McIntyre. This was originally supposed to be a unified tag team title match between the Usos and RK Bro. All of a sudden, you add in Drew McIntyre, you add in Roman Reigns, it becomes a 6-man with no titles involved. Yet the sad thing is there's 4 titles in this match. You know, there's the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship, the Raw Tag Team Champions, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So 4 sets of titles, but not one of them on the line. You know, again, so a 6-man tag match that really could have been, it could have been main event and SmackDown. Again, no stipulation. Why not make it? I don't understand why not make it the titles on the line, or if whatever team wins, they get a shot at the other team. That would have made it more interesting for me. It would have added in, up the stakes a little bit, and it would made me care a bit more. Whereas this, it was just who cares? Big deal. What if the Bloodline lost? What if Roman Reigns took a pin? He still got both belts. It wouldn't have mattered. So I just don't understand this. I mean, it was a good match. It was fast paced, and that towards the end, bodies flying everywhere. I get it. But we've seen these kind of 6-man tag matches before, so it was nothing new. It was nothing spectacular. I mean, it was a solid match, but again, by this stage of the card, I was bored, and there was nothing at stake, so there was nothing really to hold my interest here. This was not a must-see match. I mean, if you're tired, you could have probably went to bed. I mean, there was no reason to see this match. Like I said, no titles were going to change line on the hands. Nothing was going to happen, so yeah, it is what it is. And moving on to the best match of the night, in my opinion, it was Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match. Now, Ric Flair did tweet after this match that was the best performance by 2 women in wrestling history. I'm going to completely disagree with that. I mean, the match was good, but it wasn't that good. Plus, I think Ric Flair pretty much said the same thing about these 2 after WrestleMania. And I think he says it pretty much after every Charlotte match. So somebody probably needs to take Twitter away from Ric Flair. There's probably a lot of things that need to get taken away from Ric Flair, to be honest. But no, this match was good. They had brawls around the arena. There wasn't that much technical wrestling and stuff like that, but it's an I Quit match. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have, sleeper holds and German suplexes and stuff like that. Although there was a German suplex where Ronda Rousey did land almost on her head, but she managed to avoid that. There was kendo sticks that fell apart. There was weapons in the end. Charlotte gets her arm caught in the chair. Ronda Rousey asks her if she wants to quit. Charlotte says no, and Ronda Rousey says, I was hoping you would say that, bitch, and then locked in the armbar, and that got Charlotte Flair to quit. And it was a good match of the night for me. Overall, though, the pay-per-view, it was boring. It was straight up boring. Nothing spectacular about it, but I would put the I Quit match on the top of the list, guys. So that's me ranking every match from WrestleMania Backlash. Let me know your thoughts down below, whether you agree with my list or whether you disagree with my list. We'll catch you in the next one. But until then, peace.